is watching this video. My name is Olenjolai TAYAI from fantastic country, United Republic of Tanzania. Before even I would like to welcome you onto our fantastic program of training or of teaching undergraduate students who are pursuing a degree in science courses or in engineering courses. Before even I continue, I would like to ask you an excuse that today my voice is not good, it's not in its quality, but don't worry that I will deliver what God has put in my heart to you. So, I'm from United Republic of Tanzania. This is our national flag. Okay, so if you love this country, wave with me. Okay, just like a sign. So, I would like to welcome you into our online institutions, which it's called Online Undergraduate Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania. Simultaneously, because we are mathematicians, we'd like to welcome you onto our YouTube channels that called Online Undergrad. So these are the abbreviations of undergraduate. Okay, undergraduate. So undergraduate, excuse me. This is typing error. Undergraduate. So it's undergraduate. Undergraduate, right? Undergraduate. So currently we have our YouTube official channel that's called Online Undergrad, so abbreviations of undergraduate, and then Sport Institute, this abbreviation of two words, Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania, square bracket, OLENJOLAIM, right? OLENJOLAIM. So I would like to remind you a vision that God has revealed in my mind, because remember that there are the purpose for me to do this program, there are the purpose for me to establish this program, and I want to share with you because I want to be connected with my students, okay? With anybody who is learning with me from any country. Well, this is the vision that God has revealed in my mind, and I would like to present to you, and I will repeat it often because it's very powerful. That's what makes me to not get tired, not get discouraged because of the challenges that I'm encountering on providing or on practicing this program. This is the vision that God has revealed to me. God has told me that He has equipped me, He has given me His gift of teaching, so that He asked me to use it effectively to teach, to be a part of preparing a special group of undergraduate students who will be combining the knowledge they used to inquire in the classroom in mathematics, in engineering mathematics, in scientific mathematics, in the engineering courses, or in the scientific courses, right? Combine those concepts or those knowledge, those information, which are actual applicable informations, with the very important wisdom or knowledge of the Word of God, and then solve real life problem, at least a single problem, either from a community, from a district, or from a city, or from a country, regardless of what side of the problem. But at least we would like to see our students solving real life problems. So our main visions in this online institution or Online Undergraduate Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania is we like to see our students solving real life problems from their own communities, regardless of what the size of that community. But what I know, in our communities we have so many problems which we can solve them by using two skills. The skills of science and engineering, okay, including mathematics, right? And the skills of the Word of God from the manual, which is called the Bible. Right, so if you combine, you can solve. For instance, myself here, I'm solving a problem that God has put in order for me to provide a solution. Right? What problems am I solving? Yeah, it's tough. You know that it's difficult for you to depend on your only classroom teachers, and you succeed very well in mathematics. You should need an extra training, and this is what I supplement to what will be trained in your classroom or in your classroom study. So that division, we have some specific objective. One specific objective, we like to help every of our students to pass the continuous assessment, the university exams, the final exams. You have to pass all of them. And the second specific objective, we like to see our students, they graduate. Okay, they graduate. And the third, they get certificate with a good performance, especially in mathematics and the engineering courses. And then another specific objective also will be helping our students to think it differently, right? To think it different. So I know that what I'm telling you about the vision, it might seem like impossible. Even myself, when I heard this voice since 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I thought it was not possible. But I thank God by His grace, now I'm no longer where I used to be. I think differently and I'm acting in different ways. So we have, I have explained a lot of information concerned about the general introductions in the one of the lecture that called the lecture 00, the general introductions of linear algebra, okay, and then provided by the TCU and taught in University of Dodoma. Well, I would like also to remind you that this linear algebra are the one of the subject of the modules or course that I'm going to teach you, because I will teach you 12 courses or 12 modules in these online platforms, right? 6 modules for the semester 1 and 6 modules for the, or 6 courses for the semester 2. And then the reference institutions I'll be using Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology, I'll be using curriculums of University of Dar es Salaam, I'll be using curriculums of University of Dodoma, and today we are in University of Dodoma, right? We are using the curriculums of University of Dodoma, but these curriculums are cross-cutting, meaning that they are universal in every institutions where engineering and scientific courses are being taught. You find that this concept, you find that we are studying closely similar concept, but we differ just in case of prioritizing and insisting. Okay, so let's welcome you into the departments of engineering and scientific mathematics, right? Where that we be teaching you engineering and scientific mathematics, and it's called the higher engineering and scientific mathematics. And today we have the first topic, or the modules or the courses called linear algebra. The first topic that we have is called matrices, and then I would like to do the general introduction. Again, this contents for the first year, undergraduate first year, but also in case you feel from your heart you want to offer God your thanksgiving, right? Your free-willing thanksgiving you want to offer to God. For example, doing these programs, teaching students about linear algebra from the beginning to the end is my free-willing thanksgiving to God, because He's the one who has given me a powerful and unique and exceptional gift of teaching. And you'll experience it soon. Don't worry that you'll be impacted with it. So He built it in me, so I would like to give Him thanks. That's why I'm providing this material. He told me that to provide it for a year, free. I won't charge you anything. In case that if I want to charge you, you could have paid a lot of amount of money, because these materials are worth. So, I don't want to waste much of your time. Let us go now to the work. Let me begin with the part I used to call it. This is the common part for my training. Quick review of what? Lecture 00. In lecture 00, which is still in our official YouTube channel online, Undergrad Polyinstitute of Tanzania, in square bracket Olenjolai, is titled as what? It's titled as General Introductions of Linear Algebra. That's the title. You can find some other TCU and then DFT. So there I've explained about universities, right? Some universities in Tanzania, right? And these universities, I explained that we have Udom, University of Dodoma, University of Dar es Salaam, we have Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology, we have Karume Institute of Science and Technology, etc., etc., etc. Again, explain the vision. So this is vision and problem statement. Okay? What vision? So I repeated. Right now I repeated. Then explain I present to you the big picture. The big picture of what? The big picture of mathematics as queen of engineering, right? Mathematics, the queen of engineering, is almost the subject. We began to learn it since we were in nursery school, right? And it's a very powerful subject. Then I present to you reference books, right? Reference books that you have to need in learning this module or this subject And then I presented to you, and here we had text, question and answers books. Also, I presented to you the courses, right? Courses taught at these three universities, DIT, at Udom, at University of Dodoma, UDSM, etc. And then I presented to you again about topics now, right? Topics of 40 of linear algebra. Linear algebra according to the syllabus of University of Dodoma. So that's a quick review. So today, with these concepts of general introduction of matrices, or in the topic of matrices, let us begin in this context. In Tanzania, we have two authorities that is providing education in Tanzania, right? The first, get prepared to enjoy. That's another specific objective that we have, is we have to make, we'll make sure that all our students, regardless whether they are slow learner, they are faster learner, or they are intermediate learners, who would have to love mathematics, especially engineering and scientific mathematics. So I know that historically you love this subject so much, but your love has got has got an accident along your way of arriving your undergraduate studies possible. Okay, so in Tanzania we have two associations. The first one is called Tanzania Commission for Universities, and the other one is called the National Council of Technical Education. Right, repeat this one at the beginning. TCU, this is focusing on preparing the curriculum that focusing on knowledge base, while NATE is focusing on competence base. Right? You see the differences. So we have some institutions or some universities or colleges which under TCU. The first one is Udom, right? Where we are going to teach you right now. The second one is University of Dodoma. The third one, we have also St. Joseph University in Tanzania. Okay? In Tanzania. Okay? College of Engineering and Technology. We do have also another one, which is called the Zanzibar State University. So that's right, Zanzibar State University. But also we have another university called Algebra University. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Algebra University. And then we have another university that is under this. It's called the Kampala International University of Tanzania. We need some more, so you can feel it, etc. So all of these are engineering universities under our TCU. So, but there are another ones, which is called the African University. The other ones we call it African University, the United African University of Tanzania. The United University, I forget this name, United African University of Tanzania. Okay? The United African University of Tanzania. The United African University of Tanzania. It is under Koreans. So even it's very fantastic university. So these are these are some examples of universities which are providing engineering and scientific courses in undergraduate level. We have so many, but I've mentioned this just to present the rest. But also under NATE, we have some universities also, which I can present as an example. DIT, Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology. And then we have also another institution which is called the Karume Institute of Science and Technology. Also, we have another institution we call the ATC, Arusha Technical College. And then we have another institution which we call the Bay University of Science and Technology. And then we have also another institution in Dodoma, which is called the Mineral Processing Institution, or yes, College of Mineral Processing. Okay. And then we have also some other institutions. For example, we have Al Maktoum Institute of Technology. And then we have so many examples in Tanzania, mainland, and even in Zanzibar, Iceland. So, to represent, I don't know, currently I cannot teach you every module or every course in all of these universities. I'll be using the curriculums of UDOM and curriculums of universities, of UDC. Why? Because all of these other institutions or universities, they have the same curriculum, like the University of Dar es Salaam and UDOM in case of engineering, and engineering and scientific mathematics. Similarly, here I will be using the curriculums of Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology to represent all other institutions. So, according to my research, I found that Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology have the syllabus or the curriculums that even some other institutions, they are covering the same or the same concept. You can find just the difference is the difference is possibly in the way of teaching. That's the one of the difference, way of teaching. And then, yes, and the name of the modules you can find it's called engineering, mathematics 1, engineering mathematics 2, engineering mathematics 3, probability and statistics. But the concepts are the same because I learned these courses of mathematics and then I've been teaching. So now let us take our focus on UDOM. UDOM, this is called the University of Dodoma. So this University of Dodoma is just like a state university, but we are focusing on the College of Engineering and Visual Education. College of Engineering and Visual Education. There are so many programs there, and there are so many students in every year who are doing the following modules or the following courses. So let me present to you, ladies and gentlemen, courses of writing, of mathematics, of higher engineering, and scientific medicine. So there are 4 courses that you have to cover them in 2 years, but in only 3 semesters, okay, out of 6 or out of 8. The first course or module is called DTN. I'll be using the word course and modules interchangeably. This one, I'll be teaching about linear algebra. This is what I'm teaching you now. So this is the module code or course code, TN 111. Then, afterwards, in the second semester, for the first year, I will be also teaching them the course called the probability. Very interesting. And this is university probability. Don't think like A-level or O-level probability. So that is for the first year. For the second year, we'll be doing these modules in first semester. So you'll be studying simultaneously 2 modules which are closely related, and these are the course number. The course code is called the TN 120, and this one, the course is called the TN 121, and we'll be learning what's called the calculus 1 simultaneously in the second semester of the first year, right? So this is the second year. So this is the first year. Okay, we have again what? TN. So this is the only 3 semester module. TN 100 or 210. 110. And this course is called the calculus 2. So good news is I will be teaching you all of those 4 modules or courses. Remember, this is the warning I used to give all my students, whether I'm teaching them physically or I'm teaching them digitally, by using the digital platform. Okay? So I used to tell them, Olenjolai does not know everything in these modules of engineering and scientific mathematics for undergraduate. Olenjolai just know a small portions of it. I'm still learning mathematics every day. It's just like my daily bread. Okay? But I'm ready to teach students, whether present or future generations, what I know. So what I know is my responsibility, and I must teach. It's my responsibility to teach others who they don't know, like you, who is watching. So that is, so don't boast me, but I cannot even teach myself. The Lord, God of heaven, God who is our God, who is my Father, is the one who is teaching me, and is the one who is helping me to teach you. So he's here right now, believe it. So these are the courses. So now we want to pick up this course called the linear algebra. Okay? So linear algebra. Say again, linear algebra. This will be right. Many institutions or many colleges, they used to learn this module, maybe in first semester or second semester, third semester or fourth semester of the study of mathematics in engineering or scientific courses. For example, there is linear algebra, which our students used to study or used to learn it at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Even Stanford University, they do have a modules of linear algebra. Even Harvard University, they do have modules of linear algebra. So don't think that what you are learning is quite different from what other people's learns. Well, the issue is not the material. The issue is application. Okay? So, I would like to remind you again. I would like to present to you, ladies and gentlemen, topics or chapters. This is not redundant. You have to make sure to watch lecture 00. Topics or chapters of 40 of linear algebra. Okay. So let me begin to teach you now. Linear algebra. In case you don't hear me, increase the volumes of your device. Okay, linear algebra. So in linear algebra, according to the curriculum and the syllabus of University of Dodoma, we teachers, we are assigned to teach students 8 topics or 8 chapters. And I will be together, I will be with you. And these chapters, all of these topics, they will be building up, because you know linear algebra is all about vectors, all about matrices, all about space vectors, all about transformations. So that is. So the first topic which I have written there, or we are going to start, is called the matrices. Say matrices. This is not a new topic for you, right? The second topic also, which I'm going to teach you in different way, okay, is called the inverse of matrices. Inverse of 40 matrices. The third topic I'll teach you about, I'll be teaching about properties now, after teaching inverse. Okay, inverse of the matrices. This is the third topic. And then I'll teach the second topic is called the properties. Properties. In case you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. Properties of 40 of matrices. We have so many properties of matrices. I'll be teaching you some of them. The first topic which I'm going to teach you, we call it determinant function. You know the meaning of determinant, but possibly you have never heard a term or a word called the determinant function. So stay connected, I'll teach you. Then another thing that which you have to understand, that we have a fifth topic which is called elementary. Say elementary, stay with me so you can write in your mind. Elementary, okay? Elementary raw operation. Elementary raw operation. Okay? Raw operation. Then we have the sixth state. Okay. The sixth topic, I will teach you about vector spaces. Vector spaces. Then the seventh topic, which I'm going to teach you, is called the linear transformation. Linear transformation. Linear transformation. Linear transformation. Linear transformations. Say linear transformations. We introduced the topic of linear during your Form 4 studies, which is the seventh topic among the 8 topics of Form 4 basic mathematics. Okay, so linear transformation. Then the 8th topic, which I'm going to teach you, is called the inner product space. Inner product space, or inner product spaces. Okay, inner product spaces. Inner product spaces. Okay, so these are the 8 topics that I'm going to teach you. And even your classroom lecturers or classroom assistant lecturers, classroom tutorial assistants, in linear algebra, they are going to teach you almost about these concepts. They might maybe not classifying this in the style that I'm going to teach you, but you have to combine what I'm going to give you and what they are going to give you, right? Don't ignore what they are teaching you, and don't ignore what I'm teaching you. Okay, so the first topic is matrices. Well, it's not a new topic, I know, but I will take you some inches ahead from what you know. Then the second is what the properties of matrices. I will be teaching properties of matrices. However, that I know you have the fundamental knowledge in what fundamental knowledge of matrix properties of inverse if you pursue the ordinary diploma or advanced education. The first topic is determinative function. Say determinative function. I know that you know how to find determinant of 2 by 2 matrix, 3 by 3 matrix, but I'll be teaching determinant function. The fifth one is elementary row operation. Say elementary row operation. So row, we are meaning about row vector, right? Row operations, because there's a close relationship between matrices and vector. And then now we'll be teaching you vector spaces, which is very applicable in engineering. All of these topics are applicable in solving real life by using concepts of what you so by using concepts of engineering and scientific mathematics. The seventh topic is linear transformations. In Form 4, we taught you a topic called the matrices and transformations. So we'll be teaching linear transformations, what does it mean? And then the 8th topic is called the inner product spaces. We are going to teach you the new topic, which is called inner product spaces, right? So, according to University of Dodoma, I'll be teaching you this model in these 2 ways, right? So I say that the teaching style or organization of what? Of teaching. Organization of teaching. Okay? So organization of teaching, we say that how we'll be organizing. So we'll be having lectures, which will be teaching you lectures in different ways, and actual that influence you to love mathematics. I'll be using lectures, I'll be having several lectures, and then I'll be using problem solving in the lecture, problem solving, which sometimes you can call them examples, but also I'll be using another style of solving what? Solving questions in tutorial sheet. So tutorial sheet, I know that if you go to the physical institutions, you have some hours for lectures in a week and some hours for tutorial questions solving. So it means that you're solving questions in tutorial sheets. Okay, in tutorial sheets. So you can have a video, can record maybe 2 to 3 videos that will be focusing on solving problems of a particular concept that we have already covered. Okay, so that organizations. Again, before even okay, I think that's better if I remind you about this one. The prerequisite. At this will be focusing on what? Yes, it will be the prerequisite, the game of prerequisite. Prerequisite of linear algebra. So the prerequisite, you have to remember the topic we taught you in O level. That's called the matrices and the transformation. Say matrices and transformation. Okay? It's the 7th chapter in the sequence of the syllabus for ordinary secondary education. I have also a special school, online schools, and a special YouTube channel. Just click the descriptions, read the descriptions, you find the link. Matrices and transformation. Again, you need to recall the concepts we call the matrices in algebra. So this is from, in case you forgot, materials are in another YouTube channel. Okay, matrices in what? In algebra. So matrices in the 6th topic is called algebra for the Form 5 student or class 13. Then you have to remember matrices, right? Matrices of what? Of OD, NTA, those who are from OD, NTA level 5. Principle, rule of, fundamental rule of counting, and then there are fundamental rule of counting, matrices and dot differentiation. It's a course. Then you have to recall vector from 4, vector from 6, vector OD NTA level 4. So those are the prerequisites of this module. Again, linear algebra, or the topic of algebra, this is useful in real life. For example, it's used to solve mathematical problems in the software called the MATLAB. So it means that linear algebra is applicable in the software we call it MATLAB. MATLAB means Mathematics Laboratory. Okay, so those are the prerequisites, those are the organizations of the teaching, and now I would like to take you into the focusing topic, which is called the matrices. So these are topics or chapters of the entire course. Topic or chapters of matrices. Matrices, say matrices. Topics or chapters of matrices in linear algebra. I'm going to teach you almost, not topics even, I used to call these concepts. Concept that I'm going to teach you, concepts. Say concepts. Some concepts of matrices. Concepts of matrices that I'm going to teach you. So I'll be teaching you 7 concepts. The first one we call the 1.1. I'll be teaching you general introduction of matrices, the one that I'm doing right now, of 40 of matrices. Right? That's number 1. Number 2, I'll be teaching you another subtopic which is very important, which is called the special types. Special types of matrices. Special types of 40 of matrices. Special types of 40, special types of matrices. Then I'll be teaching you another topic which is called the partitioned matrices. Partitioned matrices. Okay, partitioned matrices. That's the third concept that I'm going to teach you. Then I'll teach you another concept called submatrices. You see now, I know that this is a new concept right now in your mind if you compare from what you used to know. That's why I asked you to stay connected. Then the fifth concept that I'm going to teach you is called the matrix arithmetics and the arithmetic. Matrix arithmetic. Okay, matrix arithmetic. Okay. Matrix arithmetic and operators. Matrix arithmetic and operators. That's 1.5. The 6th, I'll be teaching you concepts called problem solving. And this problem solving will refer themselves as examples. But the last concept is solving questions from what? From tutorial sheet. From tutorial sheets. Right. So these are 7 concepts that we are going to cover. In case I'll be or I'm recommended to add another concept, I'll let you know along the journey. So you have to be well equipped, serious. You have to love linear algebra, and you have to get prepared to solve real life problems by using this material that I'm teaching you right now. So those are the 7. So I've declared the ends at the beginning. So now we are learning this concept, but I've declared the end where we're heading to. Okay. So then, now let us go to the general introduction of algebra. General introductions of 40 of algebra. That is the general introduction of matrices. General introductions of 40 of matrices. Okay, matrices. The fundamental question or some of the terms that you have to understand is the word matrix. Right? The fundamental question that I would like to put it on the blackboard, what is matrix? What do you understand as mathematicians if you hear the word matrix? You can pause the video and ask yourself what the meaning of the word matrix. Can be able to solve matrices by using maybe inverse method, by using Cramer's rule, by using Gauss's right elimination method, by using elimination method. But if your son or your daughter in the near future will ask you that, father or mother, please, you told me that you've been scoring A in linear algebra. What the means of matrix? What are you going to answer? So there are different sources and references that have defined this phenomena. And this is the one of them. So matrix. So matrix, bear with me. Matrix is a set Matrix is a set of numbers. Matrix is a set of numbers, right? In rows. In rows and columns. And columns, right? So as to form a rectangular array. So as to form a rectangular, say rectangular array. Beautiful. Or, so this is the one of definition. So let me explain this first before I give you the second alternative definition. Matrix, say matrix, say again matrix, say matrix, matrix, matrix at the chorus of the song. What is matrix? Matrix is a set of numbers. So sometimes we can have a matrix which contains a set of letters. Remember that in algebra we use letters to represent numbers. In arithmetic we deal with numbers. But in algebra we use letters to represent what? Numbers. And those letters we call them variables. So that's why that we say that it is a set of numbers. And these numbers are arranged in two ways. The first way, they are arranged in rows, horizontal, rows. Every time that I mention row, think about horizontal. And columns, think about the vertical axis, right? Columns, so as to form a rectangular, array. Array is the very important terminology in computer programming, okay? It's one of the data structure, very powerful data structure. And it's even one of them that used to help us to creating tables in Excel, for instance. So create a table, the tables that you see in Excel applications, they come from the concept of matrix because it is giving you rows and columns. That's all. A table is rows and columns. So in a daily life, we have so many information that we want to present them in tables and columns. Okay? That's the meaning of 40 of there. That's the meaning of this word, the matrix, right? Or some references, we can define that. Or in mathematics, not in history, in mathematics, a matrix which is singular, right? But in plural, we don't call it matrix, but we call it matrices. So it's more than one matrices. What is it? So you say that matrix or matrices, right, in mathematics, not in geography, not in history, not in politics, in mathematics, right? In mathematics, in mathematics, okay? Matrix, we say that is a rectangular array. We repeat again the word rectangle. Is a rectangular array. And I told you that array is the one of the data structure. So when I'll be teaching about computer programming, then even you that will be studying computer programs, you'll find a data structure that called the array. Very interesting array. We have two-dimensional array and three-dimensional arrays. And all of them come from the concepts of matrix or matrix and vectors. Is a rectangular array or table of numbers. A rectangular array or table or tables or table of 40 of numbers. Okay? Table of numbers. Okay? Table of numbers. Can be a table of numbers is a rectangular array of numbers, or is a table of numbers or symbols. We can use symbols as entities of the matrix, symbols, or expression. Can have an expression as element of 40 of a matrix, or expressions, right? Expressions arranged in what? Arranged in rows. So we have against another vocabulary. Rows and what? and columns. So remember that I'll be using a fantastic style of teaching engineering and scientific mathematics. It's just like I'm going to build a house. A house always is starting on digging down. You start the fundament of the house and then to be lifted up until you reach the roofing. So that's why. So I know that some of you say that these contents of these lectures are boring. No, I'm not boring you. I know that where I have to take you. So don't worry about that. Get this information, very important. You can even help your future kids after you graduate. Or it's arranged in rows or columns, which is used to represent a mathematical object or a property of such object, which is used in rows or columns, which is used to represent, okay, to represent a mathematical object. A mathematical object. A mathematical object. Okay? Mathematical object. So this is the definition. We say that what is matrix or matrices? Matrix is a rectangular array of numbers or symbols or expressions arranged in what? Rows and the columns, right? Rows means horizontal, right? So rows always, it means about arrangement of the numbers in horizontal plane or along x-axis, we can say. While columns focus on what? On vertical. Okay? A very important piece of information concerning about matrices. Well, because we have introduced you in a very simple language, I won't go in too much detail on these general introductions or about the matrices, way that we are writing and whatever, because I did it in the previous chapters or in previous concept of the prerequisite. So I taught this concept in ordinary level or ordinary secondary education, so that in case you forgot, don't get frustrated. The materials are there for you, waiting you in order to enjoy it. So another question, which is very important in case that we are learning about matrices, I will make to tell you notation of matrix. How do we notate or represent matrix? What they are symbols, right? So he said that matrices are commonly written, are commonly written in box brackets. In box brackets. Box brackets or parentheses. Or parentheses. Parentheses. Okay, parentheses or parentheses. So this is how we notate or we write matrix. We use box brackets or parentheses. What does it mean? Let me begin with notations of 40 box brackets. Box brackets. So box brackets are this. You can write this. It's a box bracket, but some also can write this one. Now, this is box brackets. Tell your neighbor that you enjoy the beauty of engineering, of higher engineering and scientific mathematics. Ask your neighbor and tell me in the comment section, you are enjoying this material from which institutions, from which college or from which university, and also from which city, or from which continent, or from which country. B, we have against another presentation saying that we present the matrix by using parentheses. Okay? Parentheses. 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 Okay, parentheses. So that is box brackets, parentheses. Okay? With these parentheses, we say that we write the matrix and then we use these symbols. Interesting. So, example. You can have a matrix A, and this one is containing only two elements, 2, 4, 6, 7. So you've arranged numbers in rows and columns. First row, second row. First column, second column. Or you can have, again, so this is the first example. Again, we can have a matrix B, right? And this matrix B contains letters A, B, C, then D, E, F, G, H, I. Then we use the parentheses, just like a notation. Okay? So matrix is beautiful. And it's very interesting. You have to start loving it. Even from today onwards, you have to love matrix. Okay, these are still fundamental concepts, right? But I want to build a strong foundation in your mind so that you never forget this stuff once again, because your unique problem that you have to solve is waiting you. Right? So we'll be having different concepts in matrix. Tell me in the comment sections if you enjoy this stuff. Tell me who are you? Where are you learning this material from, which institution or from which college? Remember to subscribe. Remember to send your Thanksgiving offering to God, okay, through this program. And remember to enjoy and share these contents with your classmates. And then be consistent, because we need the serious students, as we say. Okay, be consistent on learning matrices, on learning this stuff, right? Again, we have another terminology called the entry of a matrix. Say 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 entry of a matrix. We have a fundamental question. What is entry of a matrix? What is entry of a matrix? So you say that an entry, we say that is any number or any symbol or any expression that is found inside the matrix. Inside the matrix and the means of entry. So you have something called the entry. So for example, you have matrix C, and this one contains let's say -3, 4, 6, 7. Then this is 6, 1, 0, negative 4, and then here we have negative 1, 0, then we have negative 8, we have 9. So it means that in all of this one, we call them sorting entry of a matrix. So it means that he enter the matrix. So in some of the books, so these are the entries, these elements. So I say that some of the books, okay, use elements, use the terms element or elements, okay, instead of 40, instead of an entry, or instead of the entry. So with this, all of these numbers, we call them what? We call them elements of the matrix. Call them what? Element of the matrix. Yeah? You enjoy these demo introductions of matrices? We know that you are from advanced educations, most of you, few of you are from online diploma. We'd like to welcome you in undergraduate level. Okay, it's a kind of fantastic level in case you'll be serious and then you know your own vision that you are going to start or you're going to learn that course in order to do it. So should you have self-determination first. But also he said that later on I'll teach about types of the matrices, but he said that also the matrix can be either a row or column matrix. A row or column matrix. So, for instance, a row matrix is given as this. We have matrix D, and then here we have, let's say 6, we have 8, we have 10, we have 12, and the row matrix. So it is what? So E is a row matrix. Then we go forward, so that's a row matrix. 1 is a row matrix. Okay? Then we say that a column matrix, these terms are very important and powerful for you to understand. A column matrix is given as this A is equal to let's say A, B, C. So that is called a column matrix. So for instance, before even I clean, how many rows do you have here? 2 rows. How many columns do you have? 2. So we call it 2 by 2 matrix. I will teach you in near future. How many rows do you have? 1, 2, 3. So you have 3 by. How many columns? 1, 2, 3, 3 by 3. I will tell you what does it mean if you forgot. Also this one, how many rows do you have? 1. So you have 1. How many columns do you have? 1. So 1, because horizontal number arranged in horizontal is only 1. So this is 1 by what? How many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 by 4. Okay? Again, this one, how many rows do you have? 3 rows. How many columns do you have? Only 1. So 3 by 1. Interesting. Okay, I'm about to end this session, so stay connected. I'm about to end this lecture. so that we'll meet in lecture 2. Okay. Again, we have a word we call matrix, size of the matrix. Say it with me, size of the matrix. Size of the matrix. I've already touched it in the previous concept. Size of a matrix. Size of a matrix. When you say size of a matrix, for instance, if you say a size of a vector, it means a length of a vector, right? When you say a size of the physical quantity, it means about the magnitude of that physical quantity. So in matrix, when you say about size, it means about the number of rows and columns in there. So you see that every matrix should have at least one row and one column, right? That's the concept that you have to remember. So, you say that in learning this concept of size, so we have a fundamental question. What is the meaning? You have to understand, even if I know that you won't be asked in the exam, what the meaning of the word size of the matrix. What does it mean? Okay? This is the meaning. Size of the matrix is the measure of what? Of the number of what? Number of rows and the number of columns. Okay, number of rows or number of columns of a matrix. That's the meaning of what? Of a size. So size of the matrix, we don't mean that we'll be finding the magnitude of the matrix now, just like in vector now. But size of the matrix means that it is a measure. So it measures or it tells us the number of rows and number of columns found in the matrix. Right? So you say that the general notation of the size of the matrix is n by m. N by m or n by m. N by m is n by m. Is it n by m or m by n? N stands for row, m stands for columns. Okay, so n by m, where, so you have defined, where n stands for row, N stands for row, N stands for row, okay, where N stands for row, and if M stands for what? Stands for column. So it means that size of the matrix is equal to n, so it means that simply we mention row first and then we mention column. This is not multiplication, this means by. So size of matrix is row by what? By column. So if, for instance, row is n and column is m, or even interchangeable, row is m, column is m, it's fine. But for this context, okay, we use like this one, according to what you've presented. So for example, it's just like example for you to understand the size of matrix E, which is given as E is equal to 1, 2, 6, 7, 3, 1, -1, 3, 5, -6, 0, 2. So this is a matrix. So you say the size, so solution, very simple. Size of E, matrix E, is equal to how many rows do you have? 1, 2. 2 rows. How many columns do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 2 by 6, 2 by 6 matrix. So for this one, it is what? 2 by 6 matrix. So we know that we taught you all of this concept, but we want to remind you so that you'll be sure when you'll be recalling some of the concept which we are teaching you at this moment. So let us see example 1, then I'll leave a homework for you. Okay? That one say that give the size of each of the matrices of the matrix below. We have a certain matrix here. Okay? We have a certain matrix we call TF, like the musical note, right? Then we have A plus B, then we have B square, we have 3, we have 4, we have 9, we have A plus B, then we have B cubic, we have A cubic. So there you may get confused because of expression. This is the expression, these are the letters, these are the numbers. So you have 3 numbers, we have 5 expressions, 6 expressions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And even also it's an expression A. So we say that solution. So solution, you have just to find number 40 rows. So how many rows do you have? 1, 2, 3. How many columns do you have? Number of columns. How many columns? 1, 2, 3. So it means that what is the size of the matrix? Size of matrix F is equal to 3 by 3. A very important matrix in engineering and the scientific mathematics. So now let me leave you the simplest homework so that we may meet in the next session. And first of all, I thank God who have been with me in preparations of this session, of this lecture. And I thank God who have given you an opportunity to listen or to learn with me. And may God bless you. So this is homework. I'll be using the abbreviations of H, W, and this is homework course is lecture 1, right? So, what is the size? Very simple question. What is the size of these matrices? Of these matrices. The first one, we have 4, 6, 7, 8. B, we have delta, we have 1 minus A, 1 plus B squared, then you have B minus A, then you have 4, then you have 6, negative 8. State the size of these matrices. And at the end of lecture 1 of linear algebra, which is titled as General Introductions of Matrices. I thank God who have been with me during the preparations of this lecture, and even at this time when I've been teaching, the one who have given me strength to teach you. And I thank God who have given the opportunity to join me. And I thank God who is restoring your love in physics, your love in, in linear algebra as one of the modes of higher engineering and scientific mathematics. May God bless you. I invite you in the second lecture. That will be lecture 2. And lecture 2, I want to tell you that in advance, I'm going to start teaching you something, the new concept, which was will be covered during your ordinary secondary educations or your advanced secondary educations. And that concept is called the special types of matrices. Don't miss, invite your friend, invite your friends in your place, in the place where you are, invite them to learn with you, and let you take this knowledge in order to solve real life problems. So I'm constantly praying for you in order for God to let you prosper for the rest of your life. I remind you also to make sure that you click the buttons of subscribe, because you're going to have more than 500 videos in this YouTube channel. So subscribe so the YouTube community will give you official notification once you upload a new video. And again, read the descriptions. Then click the icons of like or dislike, and then make sure that you click the icons of share so that you can share the link of this video into other students wherever they are at any time that they want to learn. Right now, they can learn. So this is Olenjolai who has been teaching you linear algebra for undergraduate student. I would like to welcome you in the next session. May God keep you and bless you abundantly until we meet in the next session. See you.